able to perform all the things. So in the real time, in the interviews, they'll ask you to create one table by giving some column names. They'll share some column names and they will only ask you to insert some values. After you insert some values, they will ask from there the questions. Next questions will be from there. Whether it is in the pandas, if they are asking in the pandas means they'll ask you to create one table of data frame. And from there, they'll ask the next question. Now I want to add one row, how to do? I want to delete this column, how to do? Or I want to extract this data. So like this, or in terms of group by, anything. So they're going to ask them various questions after creating the table. So first one, they are going to give the table. They'll only ask you to create some table by giving just column names. Okay, let's create one table. In a class, there students are there. Student serial number, first one. Second one is student first name, last name, mobile number, email ID. You only have to insert some data. After inserting some data, they'll ask you to insert any 5 records or 6 records or 10 records. And from that, they'll ask the questions, right? Now coming to today's class, we'll continue with the same SQL. So next topic of SQL is called as subqueries. Heading as subqueries means within the query, one more query. Within the query, one more query. That is called as subqueries. So now I'm going to use the MySQL workbench. And let us start with the first how to execute the subqueries. Now, so here, so in the last class we have discussed, that is on Thursday's class before to exam, the last one which we have discussed is called as views. And also we have discussed the self joins and views. Now we are moving on to the next two topics of, that is subqueries. Chinmay is saying that we can't see your screen. Others, could you please confirm, able to see my screen or not? You're able to see my screen, right? Done. So Chinmay, could you please relog in once? Okay. Now coming to the point of subquery. What is meant by subquery means a query within another query is called as subquery. Okay, a query within the another query is called as subquery. Now what is this subquery? So to understand in a simple way, okay, let me go with a simple way like this. So let me create one table. Okay, I have created one table called as okay, so I'm going to create one table called as employees table. Let us create one table called as employees table, and everyone please take this table. Everyone please write this table in the notes. This output I cannot zoom, only the queries I can zoom, but okay. So here the column name is employee ID. First column name is employee ID, first name, last name, salary. First name, last name, salary. You know how to create a table? How to create a table? Create tables. And what are the table I have created? The table name is called as employees. The table whatever I have created is called as employees. Table name is employees. And in that I have given 4 column names: employee ID, first name, last name, salary. Okay, no primary key, no unique key, no foreign key, nothing. Just a basic simple table of column name along with the data type. That's it. Nothing else is there. Okay. Now you know how to create a table. So create table employees bracket in which you are going to use employee ID int, first name varchar, last name varchar, and salary int type. And you are going to create one empty table. After creating the empty table, now you have to insert any 5 rows of your choice randomly. So here I'm going to insert the data. What is that? How to insert the data into the table? Insert into table. What is the table name here? Employees. Insert into employees values. What are the values I'm going to write? 1, comma, Pradeep, comma, Kumar, comma, 30,000. First row. Followed by second row. 2, comma, Pavan, comma, Kumar, comma, 45,000. 3, comma, Siva, comma, Prasad, comma, 50,000. 1, Pradeep, Kumar, 30,000. 2, Pavan Kumar, 45,000. 3, Siva Prasad, 50,000. 4, Lalit Chandra. Fourth name is Lalit Chandra, 36,000. Fifth one, Rama Krishna, 44,000. Okay? Done? Now let's start executing the queries. You have created five rows, right? 4 columns with 5 rows. Everyone. Once it is completed, I will start. Done? Now, so here, select star from employees. What is meant by select star from employees? Means all the rows with all the columns, right? Now, select average salary from employees. What is average salary from employees? Means it is going to select the average column. For that, it is going to apply the mean, that is average value. And you are going to get the average value as 41,000. Now the point comes. These are all called as queries. They are not called as sub-queries. They are called as queries only. Now, I am going to select the sub-query. How to write the sub-query? Means whatever the semicolon you have created, the first query, instead of removing the semicolon, just you have to take the query as in the brackets. This is one query. This query will be inside another query. Now see here, I'm going to select, instead of selecting all the columns, I'm going to select only the first name, last name, okay, and along with the first name and last name, I'm going to select the salary column, 3 columns, salary, and I'm also selecting the fourth column. Fourth column is nothing but select average salary from employees. This is my fourth column. Total 4 columns. First column, second column, third column, and fourth column. From which table? Employees table. Employees is the table. Okay. So from employees table, I'm going to create spelling mistake. First name. Okay. First name, last name, salary. Unknown first name. What is the name I have given for the column name? FIS. So now see here, first name, last name, salary, and fourth column you are going to get select average salary from employees. That is nothing but 41,000. Instead of writing like this, what is the other way to write the same thing is the fourth column. If I want the fourth column as directly 41,000, I will write a single number 41,000. For everything, it is going to give me the 41. But instead of giving the column, fourth column as this one, here I'm going to select in terms of like this. So it is going to take the average salary. Now, sir, what is the column name? Select average salary from employees is the column name. Instead of this much, I'm going to create a shortcut. How to create a column name shortcut? Yesterday, we have discussed in the last class. Yes. As I'm going to give the average salary. Okay. Now, is that clear? Fourth column average salary. Now the next question is, now wherever the salary is greater than average salary, only those records has to be separated. That is my requirement. Okay. Now what I have to write? Where. Now just forget about this one, and again let us focus on the fresh. Select. In my table, already you are having the table. That is the reason I asked you to write the table first. In the table, what are the columns I want? Miss, I don't want all the columns. If you want all the columns, star. If you don't want all the columns, then you can select the what are the columns you are interested. I'm interested with the first name, last name, salary. Okay, salary. These are the three columns where salary. Before writing where, first what you have to write? Table name. From employees. You are going to select from employees where salary greater than average salary. Now, average salary, where is the average salary? Just a minute, guys. One of the student, Bhumika, sir, మాకు క్లాస్ కనిపించట్లేదు, వైట్ స్క్రీన్ ఉంది. Bhumika. Guys, others, could you please confirm? Able to see my screen or not? Everyone are able to see my screen, right? Okay. Bhumika, could you re-log in once? Whoever are finding the difficulty, once again, could you please? Okay, 4 times you have tried. Okay, done. Just give me 1 minute. Let me share my screen one more time. I will do from my end one more time. Now, could you please confirm, Bhumika? Able to see my screen now? No screen, sir. Other than Bhumika, anyone is facing the same issue? Other than Bhumika? Chinmay, yes, sir. Same problem. Chinmay and Bhumika, these are the two students, right? But others, everyone are able to see my screen. Okay. Prudvi, why this kind of problem you are getting? Now, could you please confirm me now? Bhumika, Chinmay and Prudvi. Not able to see. Just a minute. Let me re-log in once again. Sony is saying that I am able to see the screen, but ask them to re-log in once. Yeah, they have tried it seems. Just 1 minute. Yeah, guys, just give me 1 minute. సార్ నేను ఒకసారి రీలాగిన్ అవుతాను, మళ్ళీ ఇంకోసారి పోస్ట్ యాక్సెస్ ఇవ్వరా? కొన్ని స్టూడెంట్స్కి ఇబ్బందిగా ఉంది. నేను ఎండ్ మీటింగ్ బదులు లీవ్ మీటింగ్ చేస్తున్నాను, మళ్ళీ నేను రీలాగిన్ అవుతున్నా. Guys, I'm going to relog in once again, and just from my end also I'm relogging once again. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Could you please confirm me now? I have relogged in from my end. Everyone? Yeah, earlier who has faced the issue? Bhumika? Still no. Then there might be a problem with from your end only. Chinmay, I tried multiple times. Chinmay, here I have relogged in one more time. And I also confirmed from the backend team also just now. And other students also saying that you're able to see the screen. So just you have to check from your end. Just I can do only one thing. After the class, I can share you the recording. You can ask the team to share the recording and please connect with the team and what is the issue. Maybe that is the problem only with your particular ID, Chinmay and Bhumika. Okay, as Sona is giving the suggestion that restart your system and try in that way also. Okay, if any possibility is there. Because others are confirming. Almost in the class, we are having here number of participants close to 67, including me. And out of which 64 of them are able to see the screen. Bhumika, Chinmay, and Prudvi, what about you? Blank. Okay, could you please connect to the backend team? I mean, through admin. You can connect to the admin and share your mail ID. I think for your mail ID only they have blocked something. There might be something like that. Okay. Yeah. Done, guys. Okay. Coming to the point. Now coming to the query. Change your laptop by. Okay. So now coming to the query. So select first name, last name, salary from employees where salary greater than. For example, I want the salary greater than 41,000. So this is a subquery or normal query. It is a general query. So single query, a general query where you are going to get the Pawan Kumar 45,000, Shiva Prasad 50,000 and Ram Krishna with 44,000 who are greater than 41. Instead of writing like this here, I'm going to select instead of where greater than 41,000. Instead of 41,000, here I'm going to give this one. Select average salaries from employee. So now what happens? It is going to take in terms of average salary from the employees. And from that, what are the average salary you have got? Whichever is more than that. See, same answer you are going to get. Now, sir, when we are able to complete in the single query, what is the purpose of writing this subquery means? Very simple answer is every time for 41,000, what you have to do means first before to that, you have to check the average salary. You don't know 41,000 directly now. Now here it will only calculate automatically. So if you write here two queries separately, first you have to calculate the what is the average salary from the employees. This one you have to calculate first separately. And what are the number you have observed from this query, that is 41,000, that you are going to write in the second query. Before to that, you know 41,000, huh? No, right? So here you are writing the two queries. That two queries here I'm going to combine into one query. So in the Python also, how we are going to write in terms of internally, we'll write one. For example, A is equal to 40, B is equal to A plus 50. Now automatically it takes the A value. You separately no need to write 40 plus 50. If you write directly B is equal to 40 plus 50, also same answer only now. But why will write like this? Because automatically it has to take the A value. If I change the A value, according to that, B value will change. Means in this, for example, if one of the person's salary was increased to 50,000, I have updated to one of the person. For example, Pawan Kumar salary is present 45,000. I have updated to 50,000. According to that, latest salary will be calculated. Latest average salary will be calculated. Is the point is clear? Instead of writing these two queries separately, these two queries I'm going to combine as a single query called as subquery. Is the point is clear? Now, sir, this is a simple example because you have taken a small data set like this or something. Now, earlier we have executed, okay, let us keep this one side. Earlier we have executed something else, right? Just give me 1 minute. Now, here I'm going to have the Siva. In the Siva we are having, in the previous class, we have created customers table. Do you remember? From the day one we are working on the customers table. Now first I'm going to select start from customers. Select start from customers. These are the customers table. Okay. Now one more we are having called as, one more table called as select start from sales. This is one more table. Two tables are there. Table number one is customers table. Table two is sales table. In the sales table, what are the columns we are having is purchase number, date of purchase, customer ID. Take this table also in the notes, everyone. That is one example. That example was completed. This is example number 2. Example number 2. Sales table where we are having the purchase number, date of purchase, and which customer has purchased that one. Completed? Sales table. Similarly, you take in terms of customers table also. Because these two you have connected now. Don't write these many. Just you write first 5 records. Simple. Where you are having the customer ID, first name, last name, email address, and number of complaints. Okay, this same example we have executed earlier. We have created one table. Later we have done the alter. Later we have done the insert. All these things. The same table which we have executed earlier. No need to write the last column, referral ID. Referral ID column we have created only for self-join. So just ignore the referral ID. Just customer ID, first name, last name, email address, and number of complaints. You know how to drop a column. You know how to create a column. If you want to add a new column, alter table, customers, add column. If you want to drop column, alter table, customers, drop column. If you want to delete a particular row, how to delete a particular row? Delete customers, within that where customer ID is equal to. right? Now, here I'm having the two tables called as customers and sales. Two tables are there. Now, what I'm going to do, select customer ID from sales where customer ID is not null. What is meant by not null means wherever the customer ID is not null within the sales. First, I'm going within the sales, not the customers table, from sales. So in the sales table, what are the customer IDs we are having? Total records are 5 records are there. Out of 5 records, how many records are non-null means 4 records. First 4 records are non-null. This is a normal query or any sub-query? It is a normal query, no sub-query. Now, if I want to select only the distinct customer IDs, I don't want means only unique values. How to select unique values means select distinct customer ID from sales where customer ID is not null. You are going to get this one. Now, my question is, you got with respect to 1, 2, 3 now. Who are these 1, 2, 3? Who are 1, 2, 3? What is the customer ID 1? What is the name of customer ID 1? Siva Ram. Who is customer ID 2? Sai Teja. Customer ID 3? So now I want those names. First name, last name. These are the two names I want from the customers table. Table is customers, but I want where the customer ID is not null of the sales table. This is one query. That is another query. I want these two. Here I can do with respect to either join. In the both of them, what are the common based on the customer ID? I can do the join. In the join, what happens means all the customers will be selected. I don't want all the customers. Though if I apply inner join also, 2 records will be selected. I don't want that one also. I want exclusively this. So here I'm going to select, see, observe this one clearly. Now select first name and last name from customers. So go to the customers table. In the customers table, what I'm selecting? First name and last name. In which table? Customers table. Where customer ID. Now what is my requirement? Customer ID of the unique values of customer ID of the sales. Means this one has to be selected. So this entire query, whatever I'm having, this query I'm selecting here. Now here customer ID in this entire query is this entire query I'm writing as a bracket. Now it is going to become as a subquery. In the main query, this is subquery. Means now which one will be executed first means subquery will be executed first. Means this will be selected. From there, it will go to this one. And I'm going to get the output like this. See? Is the point is clear? Now, I want to see the customer ID also. Add customer ID, comma, first name, last name. So, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second one is Sai Teja, third one is Sai. All of them are clear. Now it is clear what is meant by subquery. Subquery means joining of two queries. That's it. To be simple. Instead of executing two different queries separately, you are joining them. So here you are going to select customer ID, first name, last name from the customers where the customer ID in, this is a second query. Is the point is clear? Earlier you have written one subquery. What is that subquery you have written earlier example? Select first name, last name, salary, 3 things, where salary, what are the salary you are having is greater than, you have written the one more query here. While writing this query, one more query, you have added this one in a brackets. That's it. This is example number 1, which I have shown you in the employees table. This is example number 2, where here also I'm selecting the same. I'm going to select whatever I required, what are the columns I required. If I required all the columns, may select star from, in this case also from employees table. From employees. Here also I'm going to select from customers. From customers. where, up to here common. After where, here what I have written, salary greater than the one more query. Here I'm writing the customer ID in one more query. This query I'm going to keep in the brackets. Now is the point is clear? Everyone? Is the point is clear? Anyone has any questions? No questions now. Now let me ask a simple question. I will tell you the pandas code. You have to tell me the SQL query for the same. Now do you remember everyone tips data set which we have executed in the pandas, right? Now let me open the same thing here. The same tips data set. You know how to load the tips data set into SQL database also, right? Just you can load and you can practice there also if you want to write the SQL queries. Now, my question is very simple. I want average total bill. Okay, I want this one, but I don't want with entire data wherever the gender is equal to female. This is my requirement. This is my requirement. Now, in the pandas, what we are going to do means, first I'll separate the gender wherever the gender is equal to female. Means first data frame of female data was separated. Now within this, I'm going to select only a column called as total bill. Total bill, where the total bill is greater than $10 or greater than $5. This is my requirement. Where total bill is instead of average bill, let me go with the total bill. Total bill greater than $5, that too for the gender column only. So first I have separated the gender column. Within the gender column, after separating, now if I write here, this one has a DF1. Okay. Now what is the output, guys, of DF1? What is the output of DF1? Only female data was separated. This is okay now. Now within the female data, I'm going to select the total bill. Is that okay now? Total bill greater than $5. Now this is going to select entire data or females data? Females. Why here DF1 is there? Instead of DF1, DF you have taken means overall. DF1 will store the female data only. So within the female, total bill greater than 5. Now this one I want the records. Then what I have to write? DF1. Now how many queries, how many lines of code I have written here? 2 lines of code. Instead of 2 lines, I want to bring into a single line in pandas also. What I have to do? So wherever the DF1 is there, DF1 you are going to replace with the this entire part. Now tell me, in terms of the same thing, how I have to write in the SQL? Where the total bill is greater than 5, that too for females only. Now tell me the query. Select all the records. I mean all the columns. Select star from table name is called as tips. Tips. Okay. Where gender equal to female. If I write this one, now what happens? I'm going to get the female data tips. I mean all the columns of female data. But what is the question I ask? Wherever it is greater than $5. So where total bill greater than what? Greater than 5 of females data. So that one I'm going to select separately. Select star from tips where gender is equal to female. This one I'm going to write as a separate query. Okay, I'm going to take it as a separate query. That is gender of female was separated. Now, wherever the total bill is greater than 5, I want with respect to the bill is total than greater than 5. For that, what I'm going to use is in terms of total bill greater than, right? So here, where total bill in with gender of female along with the end, let's add the end operator, and total bill greater than 5. Is that clear now? So you can select within the query one more query. It is called as subqueries. So here I have taken in terms of same way. So see here, within this I have selected wherever the value is this one. So here you can write one more. For example, let's go with this example only. Let me ask from this question only. Again, you are having the employees table with you, right? Open the employees table with you. What are the employees table you are having? The first table which you have created in the today's class, this one, right? Now, I want with respect to the average salary is, what are the average salary you are having? Average salary greater than. That to average salary is select average salary from employees, first name, last name, salary, and here how to take in terms of, okay, let's add this one, salary greater than 35,000, for salary greater than 35,000, and based on this, how we can do here, there is no groups to apply the group by or something. We require a categorical data. Here something, if you are having additional column like male and female, we can do something, but for this data we can't do anything. Okay, so let's keep this one side, or if you are interested, add one more column. How to add a one more column, guys? Alter table customers, add column gender, and you can give with respect to anum or varchar of your choice. And after, it is going to create all the null values. How you have to replace that null values? By using the update. Individually, if you want miss, you have to write for every query as customer ID is equal to this one customer ID. You have to change every time. For everything you want to fill with a single value miss, you can fill with a single value, right? Now, so this is subqueries. Everyone is okay with the subqueries, or anyone has questions within the subqueries? Subqueries are clear? Anyone has any questions of subqueries? Online students? Next, just you are combining the two different queries. Next one is called as stored procedure. Next heading goes to the stored procedure. What is meant by stored procedure? Do you remember this functions in Python? User defined functions with arguments, without arguments. Same logic. First, you are going to create a user defined function. How to create a user defined function? Def. You are going to write some user defined function. Inside the bracket, you can write one argument, two arguments, or no arguments. Now, once you have created a function like this, now how to call that function? How to call? Directly the user defined function with the arguments you are going to provide. Same logic is applied here. Okay, just you can write in the notes, stored procedures, heading as stored procedures. It is a prepared SQL code that can be saved. Like how in the user defined, we are having internally some code and we are going to save that code now. Same way. And this, if there is a query that you are going to use often. Now tell me guys, what is the advantage of functions? it is reusable. When, for example, 10 lines of code is there. This 10 lines of code every time you are going to use. Instead of using the same code, 10 lines of code, you are going to create a shortcut for that. And this function you can use directly instead of writing that one. So whenever you are using this lines of code, what are the user defined internal code you are using multiple times, for that we are going to create a shortcut. Similarly, here also, what are the query you are going to use for multiple times, that particular query we are going to use as a shortcut. We are going to create a shortcut. Now I will show you a function with no arguments, a function with arguments. Means a stored procedure with arguments, a stored procedure without arguments. Now let's get into this stored procedure. So how to create a stored procedure? Means create procedure, and whatever the name you want to give, you have to write the name of that one. Okay, so now here I'm going to have in terms of stored procedures. 1 minute. What is the stored procedure I'm going to create is get customers. How to create function? Remember function one more time. Def. If you want a function name called as get customers, what we have to write? Get customers. After that, colon. Inside that, what are the values you want, and you are going to return, right? This is the one. Same thing. Create procedure. Get customers bracket. Get customers bracket. I'm going to use the begin. Means internally I'm going to begin the procedure. Select star from customers. Means it is going to select all the values from the customers table. And end. End means it is going to end. Now I'm going to create one procedure like this. Now when I click on this, it is going to throw the error, because here two semicolons are there. One is with select star from customers, one is with end. Now for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the delimiter. What is meant by delimiter? Means where SQL query will be end. So I'm going to change the delimiter as $. I'm going to change the delimiter as $. It indicates that query was end. So create procedure, just get customers, begin, select star from customers, end $. Means this will be considered as one entire query. Is the point is clear? Create procedure, get customers, begin, select star from customers, end. Means this part will be considered as one single query. And again, I'm going to bring back the delimiter as semicolon. Now, why I have done after this, sir? Why you have created one more time delimiter as semicolon, sir? Because to use that one, we have to write a general SQL query now. Now see here, call. How to use that function means call get customers. Now, what is in the get customers is there? Select star from customers. Just it is going to select all the customers from the customers table. This one line of query, sir, directly you can write no, sir. Why to write all these things? Why to create all these things means, see, for example, def add A is equal to 40, B is equal to 50, C is equal to A plus B, return C. Okay, this is the function. Now I'm going to call this function add simply, and it is going to give the output as 90. Okay, now what is the use of creating this function, guys? Is there any use? Directly you can write A is equal to 40, B is equal to 50, and C. Every time you call this function also same answer you will get now. Is there any use of this function? Every time you will get the same value, right? Directly you can create C is equal to 90 now. See, in one shot it will be completed. Why to create a function? Why to store that value in the C? Again, why you have to return all these things? Why? This is a basic example, but we know the importance of functions. What is the importance of functions? Means when we are having the some level of codes, for example, internally for loop is there or something is there, what is the advantage of functions? Whether the function will be created for this small purpose, huh? No, generally functions will be created for what purpose? Whenever you are having the multiple lines of code, that multiple lines of code, when we are having the some kind of big size of code, instead of writing that big size of code every time, we are going to create a shortcut. Same way, this is a basic example. What I'm showing you is a basic example. But if you want to select the star from customers, you no need to do this one. Any big query is there. For example, earlier we have written this one. This is the query now. From here to here, this is the query, right? Instead of writing this entire query, see, I'm copying and I'm going to create one stored procedure for this. How to create a stored procedure, guys? How to create? Create procedure. Procedure. How we are writing def function there? Here it is create procedure. Def is equal to create procedure. Now, after that, write one query. What is a query? Miss customer. I'm going to write the query name is cust. This is the stored procedure name. And I'm going to begin inside. Begin. And I'm going to write this entire query. What are the query I have written? That entire query. And I'm going to keep this entire query with end. Okay. Now, two semicolons are there. So this has to be considered as single query. Means what it has to do? So delimiter is equal to, you are going to use the delimiter as double dollar, something as per your choice, whichever you are interested. I'm using $. Now this is considered as one query. Okay. Now I'm going to execute. Completed. One stored procedure was created. Now you have to use that procedure. How to use that procedure? Call. We have to use call. After call, what we have to write? Call. What is the procedure name? Cust. Whether you have provided any arguments in that? No. Now after this, I have to write what? Semicolon or double star? I mean $. If I write semicolon, already I have converted the delimiter as double this one now. Now if I write here this one, see, it is throwing the error. Because that is the reason here again you have to bring back the delimiter. Whatever the delimiter is there, delimiter again you have to bring back to this one. Now once I have brought the this one, okay, once I have brought this one, now I'm going to click on the customers. See, I have received procedure cust is already available. What is spelling mistake? Delimiter, spelling mistake of delimiter. Right? So you're going to get the customers. Is the point is clear? So earlier, whatever you have executed this one, this entire query. Now how much of query is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 lines of query. 5 lines of query, how you are going to convert? As this one. Now you'll ask a question. What is the use of this one? Means what is the use of user defined function? As I've told you earlier, we can use the same thing for multiple purpose. Now, sir, how you can use this one as multiple purpose? This query cannot use. Now let me try with one more example. Here I'm going to create one procedure called as find customer. Find customer. So customer in, I'm going to use in ID. Okay. So see here, I'm going to write instead of like this. Let me create separately. Don't get confused unnecessarily. I will write the query. Create. How to create a procedure, guys? Create procedure. And I'm going to write one query called as find customer. This is the query. Okay, done. Now instead of giving with empty arguments, now I want to add one argument, a function with single argument. Now how to add an argument means in and argument name. What is the argument name you want to give? Any argument of your choice. I am going to give the argument name as ID. This is nothing but from here to here. Create procedure is def. Find customer. Find customer. After that, here whatever you are writing now, this is nothing but one argument like this. This same thing here you have to write like this. In SQL, it is the syntax. In Python, this is the syntax. In SQL, this is the syntax. In ID, and along with the ID, you have to give the data type also. Here you have to write dynamic programming. Since it is a dynamic programming, it will take data type automatically. But it is not a dynamic programming now. So we have to write here int. I'm writing here int. Is that clear? Up to here, first line. Anyone has any questions? Def, first line I have to get. Now, after this writing here, you are going to keep one semicolon. That semicolon here, it is called as begin. You are going to begin the begin. Okay. Now, inside that, what I'm going to write means select star from customers. Select star from customers where customer ID is equal to ID. This is the query. Means what are the customer ID I'm going to give, that it has to take. Okay. Now end. Now since I'm using double colons, semicolons, what I have to do? Delimiter. So whenever you are using the stored procedures, go with the delimiter double dollar and again remove this one to normal one. Here you have to give the double dollar. Is that clear? Anyone has any questions on this one? If you are having any question, please ask. Now this function was created with how many arguments, guys? One argument. What is that argument? ID. Okay, let us execute this one. I'm executing this query. Okay, it is saying that already this procedure is available. If something is available and you want to drop that one, what I have to do is drop. Okay, I'm dropping the previous procedure, whatever I'm having. Drop procedure, and what is the name of the procedure is find customers. Find customer. This is the one which I'm dropping. Okay, now I'm going to re-execute one more time. Create stored procedure, that is function. Created. Everyone created with the stored procedure. Now how to call this procedure? What is the syntax for calling? Call, after call, find customer. Find customer. Now you are going to give how many arguments? With no arguments, sir. Argument you have to give. What is the argument you have to give? Customer ID. So I'm going to give the 1. Now what happens if I give here 1? What is the it is going to select? Select customer IDs where customer ID is equal to 1. So you are going to get the customer ID with 1. Who is the customer ID 1? In your notes you have taken the customers table, right? Who is the first customer? So you are going to get the output like this. Find customer doesn't exist. 1 minute. Let me create first. Okay, created. After creating, now I'm going to use. Okay, procedure was created. See, who is the customer ID? Sivaram. First row was impacted. Now, if I write here 2, what is 2? Customer ID with a 2, Sai Teja, details. Customer ID 3. Is the point is clear for everyone? Anyone has any questions? Now this is 1. Now let me create with 2 arguments. Arguments 2. 2 arguments let us create. How to create a stored procedure with 2 arguments? One more time. One more time. Tell me guys, how to create procedure? Create procedure. This time let me create the procedure name called as find customers, not customer, customers. Customers. Now I want to give 2 arguments. What are the 2 arguments? Means one is in first name. Okay, F name. That is the argument. What is the data type of argument is? It is a varchar. Varchar of 20. Okay, something. And similarly, second argument in last name. Like that, how many you want, you can create. Last name, L name. Sir, if data type is passed wrong in the procedure, then according to that, it is going to select. If the data type of this one and that one is matching only, it will give. Otherwise, it is going to throw the error. Varchar of again 20. Okay. Now this one was created. Create procedure. After create procedure, what we have to write? Begin. Begin. Here I'm going to take select star from customers where first name is equal to F name. And how to write and in this one? A and D. Directly you are going to use A and D only. A and D. And last name is equal to L name. And end. Like this, I'm going to create a procedure. I have to use for each argument. Exactly. In has to be used for each argument. How many arguments you are having? For that many arguments. Okay. Now, how to select here? You are getting the error, syntax error. How to rectify this one? Delimiter $. And this one, I'm going to keep the $. Again, I'm going to bring back the delimiter as semicolon as usual. Okay, let me execute this query. Now it was created. What is the query stored procedure name? Find customers. How to call this one? How to call? Call find customers. Find customer or customers, sir? Customers. Now, how many arguments you have to provide? 2 arguments. Select any of, for example, I am going to select Sai Teja. I want Sai Teja. Sai is the first name. And what is the second name? Teja. Is there any person Sai Teja? Available or not? Yes or no? Available now? Okay. Available means it will give the output. If not available means again it. So here I'm going to call the with respect to like this. Where one minute. Let me check spelling mistakes I'm writing every time. Select star from customers. FIRST. Okay. So create customers. Now, how to drop the previous one? Previous stored procedure, how to drop? Drop procedure. After procedure, find find customers. Okay, I have dropped the procedure and again I'm going to create the procedure. Okay, procedure was created. Now I'm calling the procedure. Now can you see Sai Teja was extracted? Now instead of Sai Teja, just you can tell me any other name. Is there any Sivakumar available or not? Can you tell me any other name? Huh? Sivasai. SHI, SI, SHI, SHIVA, Siva, and second one is Sai. So what it is going to do is wherever the name, first name matches with Siva and last name also matches with Sai, that will be selected. Now, sir, why to write all these things, sir? Simply you can take like this only, na. Select star from customers, where here you are going to write Siva. First name is equal to Siva. And last name is equal to Sai. Directly you can get the output of same, na. Why to write separately like that? Because, for example, after Siva Sai, I want to check with respect to some other person, Sai Teja. Again, what I have to write? Separate query, na. For everything, I have to write separate query. Instead of that, if I create one time the function, I can use the function for multiple times. What is the purpose of creating a function in Python? The same purpose in the stored procedures. Without using the function, can you execute the same code? Without using the function, inside the function, some code will be there. Without using that, directly you can use that code also, right? Directly, right? Why will not use the directly the code? Why will use the function? Why we have created a user-defined functions? Because we are going to use oftenly, multiple times we are going to use. Instead of writing that many times the multiple lines of code, we are going to write a simple code. Remember the purpose of user-defined function. User-defined function is equal to stored procedures in SQL. Not only user-defined function, any function. Purpose of creating some function. How we are having the user-defined functions. Functions, inbuilt functions are separate. User-defined functions are separate. Similarly, here also, we are having some kind of inbuilt functions. What are the inbuilt functions? Like min, max, average, count. All this comes under inbuilt functions within the SQL. Similarly, we are having the inbuilt functions within the Python. User-defined functions we are having like whatever the user-defined functions we have created. Similarly, we are going to create the user-defined functions by using the stored procedures. Both are same. Okay, only difference is here you have to write def. Here you have to write create procedure. Now, how to drop the user-defined function? If you are not interested with the user-defined function, how to remove the user-defined function, guys? Del, and you are going to write the function name. What are the function name you have created? Del and function name. That will be dropped. Here del means it is going to drop the object. Here to drop the object, we are going to use drop. Drop procedure. And you are going to drop the procedure. Is the point is clear? So what is the syntax for stored procedures? One more time, last. Stored procedures. What is the meaning of stored procedures first? What is the meaning of stored procedures? Means it is some kind of user defined functions. Now, what is the purpose of creating this? What is the purpose? Purpose of stored procedures is when you are using the often code, means repeating the same code for multiple times. Instead of that, we are going to create a shortcut. When we use often some SQL code, when we use often some SQL code, that will be converted as a stored procedure. commonly when we use that one, we are converting that one as a stored procedure. Right? So for example, you are having this one. So here I have created one stored procedure. What is the stored procedure called as get customers? What is this get customers will do? Select star from customers. Now, can you open once customers table? Everyone. In the customers table, you are having customer ID, first name, last name, email address, and number of complaints, referral ID. For example, I want only the select first name, last name, email address. Only these three columns. What I have to do? First name, last name, email address, from customers. Every time I want this one. Okay. What are the query? I want every time this one. Assume. Then what I'm going to do for this entire query, I'm going to create a called as get customers. Now, instead of writing this entire query, I'm going to use the call get customers. Now, when I use the get call customers, what are the get call customers is there? Now, what happens? Automatically, it is going to select these three columns. Instead of writing this big one, I'm going to use the shortcut one. Is the point is clear? Now, so how to create? First one is how to create. Advantage is clear now. What is the purpose? Purpose of creating stored procedure means when we use often SQL code, same code when we use some SQL code very oftenly, when we use often some SQL code, then we'll convert that particular code as a stored procedure. When we often use some SQL code, we create as a stored procedure. Stored procedure is similar kind of user defined functions in Python. It can be created with one argument, two arguments, or multiple arguments. Right? Now, purpose is clear now. Now, what is the next step after the purpose? Now, how to create and how to use and how to drop. Three things we require. How to create, how to use, how to drop. First, create. How to create means for creating, we are going to use create procedure, and you are going to write what are the name you want, function name. Function name here it is called as stored procedure name or stored procedure name, SP name. SP means stored procedure, and you are going to write like this. Okay, after writing, we have to write begin, and inside that we are going to write SQL code. What are the SQL code you are going to use oftenly? And followed by we have to write end. Okay. Stored procedure is stored in the database, directly in the database. So if you see here in the left side, you can see in terms of stored procedures also. Now you'll get the stored procedures. What are the stored procedures you have created? Okay. So first I have shown you tables, views, and stored procedures. Right? So directly it will be stored in the database. Now after this, we instead of using the semicolon, we have to use the double, and here we have to write the delimiter $. And again, I'm bringing back my delimiter to colon, semicolon. No, it cannot be used in the another database. Abhay, What are the database you have created? So in the Siva, you have created the stored procedure. It will not be impacted in the Krishna's database. In the Krishna's database, stored procedure is not available. It will not be reflected. In which table, I mean, which database the stored procedures are available there only. Means like in the Jupyter notebook. In one Jupyter notebook, you have created user defined function. Can you use in another Jupyter notebook? Means no. Same way. Okay. So this is the way to create the stored procedures. Now, how to call the stored procedures? Call procedure, and you have to write your procedure name and number of arguments. What are the arguments you are having? What are the arguments? Now, if you want to drop the no need to write the procedure, just simply call procedure name, SP name. Now, while dropping, you have to write drop procedure, and you have to take the name of that one. So this is create, and second one is call or use. Call or use. How to call or how to use the stored procedures. Next one is how to remove or delete. Remove or delete the stored procedures. This is the syntax. Everyone is clear with the stored procedures and subqueries? Anyone has any questions? If anyone has any questions, you can ask. And in tomorrow's class, we are going to cover the next topic called as CTE. Okay, along with the CTE, normalization. What are the different ways of normalization? In the normalization, whatever we have discussed earlier with you is called as 1NF. What is that? Everything we'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. Normalization, what are the different types of normalizations and CTEs are there? These things we are going to cover in the tomorrow's class. With this, SQL will be completed. Yeah, okay. Functions, already we have discussed some inbuilt functions. Let us add some more functions also. Okay, functions. These three things we'll cover in the tomorrow's class, each of them. Right? CTE and what is meant by normalization. Already you know what is meant by normalization, but you know what is the normalization is called as 1NF. That is called as one normal form. Means in each of them it will have one value. Okay, unnecessarily I don't want to confuse you. Tomorrow by showing with some tables, I will explain very clearly. In this class, some students may have dual numbers. Two numbers will be there. Okay, let me explain with a simple example. What is this normalization? Let's take here a roll number. One of the student's roll number and the student name and the student phone number and the student email address. Let's take an example like this. Student 1 is called, his name is SRK and his phone number is 912345678 something. Okay. And email address srk.nareshit@gmail.com. Okay, something you are having like this. Now, student 2, student 3. Okay, now student 2 is Siva, and he's having with 2 mobile numbers. One is called as 91234. This is one mobile number. Don't ask sir, mobile number is having only 6 digits. Example purpose. Okay, second mobile number is having 6789445. Something you are having. 2 mobile numbers are there. In between, comma is there like this. 2 mobile numbers with comma. And mail ID, he is having some siva@gmail.com. And one more student, his name is Krishna. And his mobile number is 734567. And his name is kr@gmail.com. Something you are having like this. Now in this table, one of the student is having with respect to 2 mobile numbers. Now it is whenever we write SQL query or when we try to execute something, it is going to throw the error. If you want to select any particular mobile number who is the student, you want to extract the data with the mobile number. Okay. For example, in this class, one of the student is sending me in the WhatsApp some message. I'm having the mobile number only, but I don't know the student name. I don't know his details. Now, how I'm going to check in the database means by writing his mobile number, I'm going to check who is this student, what is the name. Okay, let us assume that one of the message I have got from one student, his name is I am the greatest lover in the world. In the WhatsApp, he has given like that. Okay, but actual name will not be there. But I want in the students table, what is the actual name? I want to identify that. Now, how to do that one? So I have to write select star from students where mobile number is equal to this mobile number. Then only I will get that particular student details, right? Now, when I'm having this one, it will not execute properly. For that reason, what we are going to do means this will be converted as 1F, 1NF. How to do means, see here, instead of creating this one, I'll be adding the, okay, whatever I'm having this, I'm going to create 2 rows. In the first row, first mobile number will be there. In the second row, second mobile number will be there. Instead of first mobile number, we are going to have the second mobile number. And this is called as normalization. This is called as 1NF. Every single cell will consist of one value only, not multiple values. It is called as 1NF, one normalization. So every cell, single cell consists of single value, no multiple values. Now, if I extract based on this also, I will get the same customer. I mean student. If I select based on this mobile number also, I will get the same student. Now SQL query will work. In the earlier case, if I write the SQL query, it will not work. It will throw the error. Now it will work. So this is the one which we call it as normalization, right? So in tomorrow's class, we'll continue from here and what are the different normalizations techniques are there. And along with that, what other options we are having, and we'll complete the entire SQL in the tomorrow's class. The CTEs and normalizations and functions, right? If anyone has any questions, you can ask what are the questions you are having. If no questions, you can leave. That is the end of the session and we'll continue in the tomorrow's class. Sir, do you make a change in the procedure like alter? No, you can drop that one and create with respect to new one. See, like how you have created the user defined function in the Python. In the Python, if for example, something internally you want to change, but the same function name, what you are going to do? A new one you are going to add now. In the Python, what happens means whenever you add a new function with the same name, the old one will be deleted and the new one, because a is equal to 40, same a is equal to, if you write 50, the old a will be deleted. But in SQL, you have to drop them separately. Sunil. Right? Next, Chetan. Sir, I have tried joins, but it is working only with the foreign key when it is common with the parent key, and the parent is compulsory primary key column only. Yes. So if you want to try with a different column names, particularly you have to select the table name dot column. Table name dot column. Chetan. If you want to try with a different column names, I mean, in the first table, first column name, and the second table, second column name is different, then clearly you have to write table 1 dot column name is equal to table 2 dot column name. Right? Chetan, is your question is clear? Next, Abhay. Sir, action used in the SQL like views and subqueries. What action? We can create the stored procedures by using each function like SQL like views and subqueries. As per your choice. In the function in the Python, how you can create the functions? Is there any restrictions? As per your choice now. Inside the function, you may use in terms of while loop or for loop or if and else only. Choice is yours. Right? Done.